Check, 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 check. What up, dude? What up, dude? Got this red light special going on right now. Let me check this thing out right quick. We got this red light special. Red light special. Looking real devilish right now. Too much red. What's going on, everybody, man? What up? What up? What up? Where y'all at? Let me get in these comments, man. Let me get in these comments real quick, man. It's the Dunk on Demand show. What? Ooh wee. Said our culture interview just blows my mind. Carolina is a circus. Not the circus. Not the circus. We a little bit better than the circus, ain't we? Shoot. Not the circus, huh? We not the circus, are we? All right, let's go with yellow light. Red light, green light, yellow light. What up, though? OGSS, what up, though? Juice World on this thing, what up, though? J Issue, Tim Mesties, what up, though? yo, Aaron Duncan in the house. Secret, somebody play my theme music. What up, though? Cam Dalton, what up, though? Ander, what up, though? He said we got the 420 stream. Hey, man, say, man. You know, it is 420. Shout out to the Devil's Lettuce. Shout out to the Devil's Lettuce, I guess is what they call it. They call it that herb, and spices, whatever you want to call it. What do people call it? That herb, marijuana. Can I say that? My bad. I muted my mic by mistake. See, I can't read enough. I muted my mic on accident, man. I've been off. I took a week off. I went on vacation. I forgot how to use my mic, apparently. I'm back, though. You say he's so hyped, can't stop reading stuff. Hey, man, you can't get too lost in the sauce. Can y'all hear me now? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? I muted my mic by mistake. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Let me know if you can hear me now. Let your boy know if you can hear me now. Are we good? I think we should be good. He said, Trey Robbie fast. He said, Trey. Can you hear me now? Let me know if you can hear me now. I said, Trey Robbie fast. All right. Appreciate it. My bad. I hit the. Look, hey, look. They tried to get your boy out the paint, man. I started talking about a little herb. They want to mute your boy. I started talking about a little herb on 420. They want to mute your boy. You know what I'm saying? Come on now. But yeah, man, what's going on, y'all? We got a lot of Panthers news to talk about. Man. You guys already know. It's been a lot going on. So we're gonna get into it, but you guys gotta give the video a thumbs up first before we get into anything. Y'all gotta give the video a thumbs up. Okay? Show a little love, get the video a thumbs up. But let's go ahead and get into it, man. We got a lot of stuff to cover. Obviously. We got to talk about David Tepper in South Carolina and all that good stuff, of course. We're going to talk about McADoo, his comments and stuff like that. We're going to talk about this off-the-field stuff going on with these Panthers players, man. More people getting in trouble. We're going to talk about the Baker Mayfield rumors, obviously, and Robbie Anderson's comments about it. I know it seems like it's a couple days old, but I got to talk about that. I got to talk about Deebo Samuel. Deebo Samuel, another wide receiver, guys, wants to trade. What else is new? Literally another day. Another wide receiver wanting to trade or raise, whatever. We're going to talk about NBA playoffs versus NFL playoffs. I'm going to give you guys where the top 5 destinations that Deebo Samuel should probably go. All right? All right, let's go ahead and get into it. Let me get out my outline. Jonathan Felder checking in. What up, though? But let's talk about it. David Tepper. Obviously, we've been hearing these plans about the headquarters being moved to South Carolina location in Rock Hill. Now, this is a welcome sight because David Tepper came in preaching that he wanted to push this initiative of 2 states, 1 team. We talked about it a couple weeks ago. A lot of people want to put the Carolina Panthers in a box. If they were the North Carolina Panthers, they'd be called the North Carolina Panthers. Shout out to P. Diddy. However, it is the Carolina Panthers. I told you guys before, the logo is shaped like the state of South Carolina and North Carolina put together. If you look at the border of South Carolina and North Carolina put together, it is shaped like the Carolina Panthers. So it needs to be, I appreciate the initiative to do 2 states, 1 team. Like I said, a lot of people want to box it in just because it's in Charlotte. There's a part of the reason why they do the training camp in Wofford, all that good stuff. But like I said, the Panthers logo is shaped like both states. They did that for a reason. It's 2 states, 1 team. You know what I'm saying? South Carolina, they deserve to get some of the credit, I guess, being a part of Panthers Nation. However, this thing, what happens nowadays is everything turns political. Politics. It's about money and politics. So you guys have been keeping up with. There's been a lot of back and forth. There's 3 sides to every story, okay? Because we've heard from the state of South Carolina, a.k.a. Rock Hill. We've heard from Tepper Sports and Entertainment. So there's 3 sides to every story. Like I said, Tepper's side, South Carolina side, and the truth. The truth lies somewhere in between those outside parties, okay? There's 3 sides to every story. The truth, Tepper, and what South Carolina is saying. So South Carolina is saying that, well, let me start with David Tepper. David Tepper is saying that, okay, we put up our, $225 million, $180 million, whatever. We broke ground a year ago. We got this thing going. According to our agreement, you're supposed to be giving us bonds, tax incentives, tax breaks, and future stuff like that to help fund this venture. You know what I'm saying? And according to some reports that I've heard, David Tepper really had no interest in involving the state and local government. He was just kind of do it himself. But they decided to want to squeeze themselves in. That way they can get a piece of the pie and make some of that money. Fine. But if you're going to go this hard to get involved in the deal, how are you going to not hold up your end of the bargain? You just broke ground a year ago, and according to reports, you haven't made a payment in a year. So literally, you cut the ribbon, broke the tape, whatever you want to call it, put the shovel in the dirt with your hard hats on, probably took pictures and everything, and then you just started chilling. So, all right, y'all got it from here. And expected the billionaire to take care of it. I mean, I get it. You know what I'm saying? When you got somebody working with that's the richest owner in the NFL, one of the richest guys in America, the pockets bottomless, to say the least, I understand. You're going to lean on him a little bit more. But when you have a contract in place, you have to adhere to your contract. Now, like I said, the truth is somewhere in between, so I'm not going to completely blame South Carolina. I'm not going to completely absolve David Tepper. But if what we understand to be true is that is that they didn't put any money in, that's a problem. That's a problem. You didn't handle your business. But then you got Lindsey Graham, who has clearly tons of other things he could be doing. Obviously, he has a job to worry about South Carolina, of course. He has a ton of other things he can do for America. And other local senators in South Carolina making comments, throwing jabs, talking about David Tepper came in thinking he was all big and bad, and he's nothing more than a wannabe Jerry Jones. Now, I ain't gonna lie, that's funny. That's funny. I got to give credit what credit is due. Calling David Tepper a wannabe Jerry Jones is hilarious. Okay, I got to even give Lindsey Graham one up on that one. That was funny. I don't think he said that, but there was another senator that said that. But that's still funny. Nevertheless, they're playing. They do what they always do. These politicians do what they do. They go in the media, try to control the narrative, try to make these PR things happen, and then David Tepper clapped back. David Tepper was just like, "You guys haven't paid anything. You guys got 30 days before we stop work." 30 days passed, no work happened, the deal is off. And it's completely off that nothing's going to be going there. Now the area just looks like Avengers Tower. You guys saw Avengers Endgame at the Thanos from like 2014 came back in time and like they made it rain fire or whatever, like he said, and destroy Avengers headquarters. That's literally what the site looks like right now. That's what the Panther site looks like right now. They just left it. They literally just dropped hammer. There was a shovel. I saw a picture. A shovel was still in the dirt standing up. They literally just stopped what they was doing. You know, on the Flintstones intro, when that bell rang, people just literally stopped what they were doing and left. Like dropped their work where it was at and left. That's exactly what it looked like. The work site was just incomplete. Very ambitious plans. It looked like it could have potential to be a beautiful site. But as always, money and politics gets in the way of progress. That's the story of South Carolina in general, but the story of America, period. Money and politics gets in the way of real progress. And that's what's happening here, in my opinion. Now, South Carolina, they're saying that they never agreed to put up money. They said that these bonds that they're talking about, they're saying that David Tepper really didn't do his part in registering the paperwork to get these bonds and to get these tax incentives. And it's a whole lot of mess going on. There's a lot of opinions, but the economic fallout is going to be pretty hectic because you got people in that Rock Hill area that might have bought their home or built a home in that area, knowing that the Panthers headquarters were going to be there, knowing that there might be some more plazas and shopping centers and like maybe some strip malls, some other restaurants and stuff that may entice the property values to go up. So they're buying homes expecting to ride that gentrification wave. They're buying homes in that area expecting property values to keep going up. And now that it's gone, that may not be the case. That may not be the case. But there's still work that was done and sitting there. And now it's an eyesore. You got a whole exit built on South Carolina, to get that done, but nothing's going to be there. I know a lot of people are cracking jokes like they're going to put a Elevation Church there or an IKEA or something like that, or a Family Dollar, Dollar General, you know what, or Spinks, real South Carolina style, something like that. You know how they do. So I don't know. I think all the jokes are funny. And my honest opinion is that I think this will get done eventually. When? Who knows? I had no idea when. How? I think they'll come together, put together a new agreement that is both a little bit friendly for both sides. I think Tepper has a little bit more leverage, but I think him walking away completely lets them know that, hey, we don't need you. We don't need you. Like, showing that you're willing to break the whole deal off is definitely going to hurt South Carolina a lot more than David Tepper. You know what I'm saying? David Tepper, the level of petty he is, he'll eat that. He'll eat that $180 million and then come back and sue you in court for breach of contract. David Tepper is a businessman, dog. He didn't become a billionaire for making stupid decisions. I'm sure he's taking some gambles and some risk, but as crazy as the football decision that he makes, I mean, the dude made $1 billion. I know I feel some type of way about certain billionaires. I think some people do also because whatever. But the man made $1 billion. He's not going to be doing bad deals. And he's willing to walk away. He has the bankroll to be able to eat that money and just walk away and come back and sue him later. South Carolina needs Tepper and the Panthers more than Tepper needs them. There's plenty of cities and spaces that'll be vying for the headquarters if it comes to moving on. So it's really good. The ball's going to really be in the state of South Carolina's court. According to them, they've been trying to reach out to Tepper and they've been leaving them on red. And they said they were ready to meet with them as soon as today. Tepper has come back and said he may be willing to talk about it again and renegotiate, but the conversation is going to be a lot different. Now that you see how far David Tepper is willing to go, now that you see that Tepper is willing to just let that thing go and wipe his hands with it, it's a little bit different negotiation. So Tepper Sports and Entertainment, so we'll see. We will see what happens. And some people are saying, there's conspiracy theories that are saying that once David Tepper got involved and interest rates started moving around with the economy, inflation started happening, that Tepper wanted to back out and get out of the deal anyway. And so this was just his out and he's taking advantage. I don't think that's the case. I think he legitimately wants to get something done. Building something like that is a tax incentive. All that real estate stuff that they built up, it's a tax write-off for Tepper Sports and Entertainment. He wants to get it done, but He's not going to lose sleep over it, I don't think. So it is what it is. You guys in the comments right now. Let me get it here. Tip. David Tepper got the upper hand all the way. Yeah, he got the leverage, bro. Miss Rand, what up, though? Romy Rome in the house. What up, though? Alex said, SC politicians always bugging. Said, Valeria said, what we going to do with 6? Probably trade back. I'm assuming trade back. If you guys in the comments, make sure you guys get a video thumbs up if you have not. We got people checking in, but the math ain't mathing. The viewers and the likes not matching up quite what I expected. I should be seeing more likes. Give me some. Show your boy a little bit of love. You know what I'm saying? Show your boy a little bit of love with the like, with the thumb up button. Okay, I appreciate that. But yeah, man, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. You know what I'm saying? Because South Carolina, man, they can't never had nothing nice. This is coming from a guy that grew up in the 864. Yeah, I think people are underestimating because, like I said, the stuff that builds around it, all the economic effect is almost immeasurable. It's almost immeasurable. You know what I'm saying? So South Carolina got to get it together, man. They got to get it together. He said, I think we have enough weapons already. Trade for Baker and draft Evan Neal. It's possible. It's possible. There's a lot of options on the table for the Panthers. I think the good thing is that we're not showing our hand. Last year, we kind of got caught off guard. A lot of people, we didn't really hear the J.C. Horn hype build up until about a couple of days before the draft. So expect the unexpected over this next week or so, man. Expect the unexpected. Remember I tell you last week, guys, believe half of what you hear, half of what you see and none of what you hear. I definitely think we should trade back at 6. If we're not, I definitely think we should trade back. I definitely think we should trade back. But let's talk about Deebo Samuel, man. Let's talk about Deebo Samuel real quick because he's a South Carolina guy. You know, I'm a Gamecock fan myself. Deebo Samuel, one of my favorite players to come out of South Carolina. Shout out to Deebo. I like Deebo. I do. But we got to have a real conversation. We got to have a real conversation about Deebo. We got to have a real conversation about Deebo, man. I see y'all comments coming in. I'm going to check in on those and say we're going to get back to Panthers. But I got to talk about Deebo real quick because he's my South Carolina, he's my boy from South Carolina. So, Deebo Samuel. Obviously, news has come out that Deebo Samuel has requested a trade from the San Francisco 49ers. Deebo Samuel, we know him. Dual threat, running back, wide receiver type of guy. Very DJ Moore-esque, in my opinion. I think we could use DJ Moore like Deebo Samuel, but that's neither here nor there. North Turner did a little bit of that, but I think we could do it with DJ Moore. I think so. But that's just me. Who am I? I'm not an offensive coordinator. I'm not being McADoo. I'm just a guy. I'm just a guy. I'm a jag. Just a guy. Nevertheless, Deebo Samuel wants out. He wants out. After a strong playoff run by the 49ers, a very productive year from him, he wants out. Deebo Samuel says that the time is up in San Francisco. Obviously, they're transitioning from Jimmy Garoppolo. They're trying to hand this thing off to Trey Lance. Jimmy Garoppolo's still kind of up in the air what he's gonna do. It's very, very fluid of a situation. However, we talked on previous live streams. I told you guys about how these wide receivers are. I told you. Because once upon a time, people were talking about how wide receivers were divas. You shouldn't pay them. You don't need a big-time wide receiver to win a championship. How the narrative has changed. Because now, Devontae Adams is getting paid. Tyreek Hill, traded and paid. But it all started from good old Christian. Kirk, that is, not McCaffrey. Christian Kirk. A wide receiver 3 in my eyes, maybe wide receiver 2 tops. He got broke off. This dude, what, $17, $18 million? So you see DJ Moore got paid. Stephon Diggs got paid. And Devontae, after Aaron Rodgers got that bag, Devontae Adams, they tried to franchise tag Devontae Adams. He said, nah, I want $25 million. They shipped him up out of there, got a couple picks from the Raiders. If wide receivers weren't that valuable, they wouldn't have got multiple picks for Devontae Adams. They wouldn't have gotten it. Then Tyreek Hill, the Tyreek Hill situation materialized so fast. He went, as soon as he wanted to get paid, and then he wanted to get traded, there were 2 teams that narrowed it down to, he said he didn't want to go to the Jets. The Miami deal was done like that. Next thing you know, he's getting that contract. This man's in warm-ups. I just seen him at their offseason workouts, I guess, catching passes from 2 on air. Him and Jalen Waddle, 2 of the fastest wide receivers in the league. Explosive. Now, DJ Moore, a lot of people had a problem with DJ Moore's contract, but looking at it now, it looks a lot more respectable and affordable, especially when you know that DJ Moore still hasn't had a good quarterback and he can still go to another level. I think DJ Moore will fully outperform that $20 million number on his contract. But Deebo, he claims, this is what the wide receivers do, guys. Because like I said, people claim that you don't need one to go far, but you see these young quarterbacks or these quarterbacks need a reliable target. Stafford needed his Cooper Kupp. He needed that guy that can get open and guaranteed on third down. Joe Burrow went to new heights. Even with the bad offensive line, he had Jamar Chase. You need a wide receiver, guys. You need one. I've never been a proponent of that argument. Nevertheless, Deebo, what did they do? He did the script perfectly. First, you scrub your social media. Scrub it. There's people that follow every move that you do. Scrub it. Take it all off. Take all them pictures off. Archive them. Hide them. Leave one picture. Leave a picture of you like dapping up one of your homies or something. Leave a college picture. Leave do nothing. Don't archive all of them. Then wait for everybody to kind of come out and say, hey, you see Deebo? Deebo's not following the team on Instagram anymore. Deebo cleared his Instagram. There's nobody, he's not following anybody. He deleted all his 49ers pictures. Wait for the clout to come back and people to notice and the attention to come. Then ask for more money, but behind the scenes. But as soon as you ask for more money behind the scenes, come out and say that it's not about money. And then request a trade. Actually, I skipped a step. You got to request a trade first. Ask for more money behind the scenes. Request a trade publicly. And then after that trade, say it's not about the money. Even though it's clearly 100% about the money. Because as soon as you get traded, you're going to get the money. Because your homeboys, Terry McLaurin, DK Metcalf, they want the bag too. They're going to follow the same script. They're going to follow the same script. But make sure you tell everybody it's not about the money. Don't want them to think that you're greedy. Tell them it's not about the money. But everybody knows what T.I. said. If it ain't about the money, don't be blowing me up. You ain't getting, yeah. It's about the money. It's always about the money, guys. And Deebo has his injury issues because he plays a very hard-nosed, reckless style of play. Runs between the tackles as a wide receiver. He's built short and stocky anyway, has the body for it. Pause. But he knows that his shelf life isn't long with that play style. He wants out of San Francisco so he can be used as a true wide receiver, and he wants that bag of a true wide receiver. Now that true wide receiver money is $20 million plus, hey man, say man. Hey man, say man. It's bag season. It's bag season. So where will Deebo go? That is the question. Where will Deebo go? Where will Deebo go? Said Jerry Maguire, show me the money. Exactly. I got the 5 teams that are potential destinations that I think for Deebo Samuel. 5 teams. I got a list. Number 5, the Houston Texans. The Houston Texans have a young quarterback in Davis Mills. The best wide receiver on the outside is Brandon Cooks. Obviously, they're in transition. They have a boatload of picks after the Deshaun Watson saga, and they got the bag to be able to afford Deebo. There's no state income tax in Houston, which is part of the reason why I think it was very attractive for Tyreek Hill. But your money go a little bit further in Texas. Yes, the property taxes are high, but there's no state income tax. And so I think the Texans are a viable destination for them. And it's in a different conference. So the 49ers may be a little bit more comfortable trading him there. I think it's a possible destination. Number 4, the Green Bay Packers. The Green Bay Packers obviously lost Devontae Adams, we just talked about, via trade because of that money. Maybe it was a little bit of a sour relationship. But obviously Aaron Rodgers he got that bag, but he's going to want to be able to be competitive and have some guys on the outside. They could easily go to the draft and make some moves. But they could trade for Deebo. Now, this one sounds a little far-fetched because why would the Packers trade a wide receiver that wants $25 million only to come back and get a wide receiver that wants $25 million? Obviously, they have the draft capital after trading Devontae Adams. We expect that it's going to be a first-round pick, maybe a mid-round pick to get Deebo anyway, plus that price tag to pay him. The Packers, they need him. I don't see the likeliness of it happening. I'm not sure because they've been a very conservative franchise overall when it comes to offseason moves. They like to build through the draft and do things the right way and stuff like that. Very traditional type of franchise. But I think the Packers can be a viable destination. Number 3, the New York Jets. The New York Jets, they've been linked to every free agent wide receiver that's wanted to be traded. Obviously, they missed out on Tyreek Hill because Tyreek Hill just did not want to go to the Jets. He just didn't want to go. He didn't. They missed out on Devontae Adams. Missed out on him. I never really heard. I mean, Devontae obviously wanted to go play with his homeboy, Derek Carr. But the Jets, they need wide receivers for their young quarterback, Wilson. And obviously they have those ties because I think their offensive coordinator, he was a former assistant for the 49ers. LaFleur. One of the LaFleur brothers. He's in New York. Has a background with Deebo, could probably use Deebo in special ways. But however, if Deebo wants to kind of be a true wide receiver, why would he go to the same system? Familiarity does mean something at times, but maybe it doesn't. But New York definitely has the bag, and they definitely have some draft capital to be able to make it happen. So the New York Jets could be a viable destination. Number 2, the Baltimore Ravens. The Baltimore Ravens, they're usually another conservative team similar to the Packers. They build through the draft. They're not usually aggressive on this stand front, but it's about time that we get Lamar Jackson some established weapons. I love Hollywood Brown. I like the speed. I like what he can do, but he ain't Deebo. I like what's the name? Bateman. Got hurt last year. He's definitely not Deebo. Not yet. The versatility of Deebo Samuel and some of the stuff that the Ravens like to do from an offensive standpoint with Lamar Jackson utilizing his legs to set up the pass, I think that could be a good combination. And damn it, Lamar Jackson needs some help. He needs some help, damn it. And with his arms racing the AFC, you got to have some weapons. So the Ravens definitely could use Deebo's skill set to add to that offense. Definitely. Obviously, they have Mark Andrews, who's big and in the middle, big target, but a good, versatile guy like Deebo to couple with the deep threat of Hollywood. I like the sound of that. I like the prospects of that. So I got the Ravens at number 2. The number 1 team that I think should go get Deebo Samuel, that could be a beautiful combination, is the Kansas City Chiefs. The Kansas City Chiefs. A lot of you are like, what? They got Mahomes, they got Kelsey, they got this at the third. Yeah, but they got rid of Tyreek Hill. And don't give me, they just picked up Juju. Juju not Deebo, okay? Juju is not Deebo. I think we saw that Antonio Brown seemed a lot more right than we thought when it comes to that Juju needing to be the number 2 guy and relying on the attention that AB was getting to be able to eat. Juju stayed the number 2 guy. I mean, Deontay Johnson was the number 1 receiver, in my opinion, in Pittsburgh. And obviously, Ben being a shell of himself didn't help. But I don't think Juju needs to be your number 1 wide receiver. Especially when you have Kelsey, too, who likes to eat up the inside also. You need somebody on the outside. Deebo Samuel is very versatile. He's not as blazing fast as Tyreek Hill, but he has the versatility to do those end arounds, the trick plays that they do, and all that stuff. And Andy Reid and Eric Bieniemy are 2 of the most creative minds in football. Do you know how many ways they can use a guy like Deebo Samuel without having to line him up in the eye? They're just as, if not more creative than Shanahan. They're just as creative as Shanahan. So putting him in there, I mean, I think it could be a match made in heaven. Now, some people will be like, they didn't want to pay Tyreek. Why would they pay Deebo? I think might have been soured on Tyreek. Your motivation gets a little bit different. One, Deebo's seems to be a little bit, quote unquote, cleaner off the field. We know Tyreek has this history of obviously the issues with his son, I guess the abuse thing, and then some of the domestic violence stuff going back to college. I don't want to hash on his past too much, but he's older. He's a little bit older. And I mean, I think Deebo can do a little bit more. He doesn't have the speed, but does a little bit more as far as the running game and stuff like that. And it's just as effective as a weapon and versatile. I don't know, man. My only doubt with the Chiefs is that what are they going to do with that money? Because they haven't even signed Orlando Brown. They traded for Orlando Brown, but they haven't even signed him yet. But they definitely have the draft capital from that trade that they did to get rid of Tyreek Hill. So I think the Chiefs could be an option, and I think it could be scary hours. Scary hours, especially with their division, all those weapons that every other team has. It's an arms race, guys. It's an arms race. Getting Deebo Samuel establishes Kansas City as that big brother that they once and always have been in this division, even though the Chargers, the Raiders, and the Broncos are definitely on the come up. That's my top 5 list of teams that Deebo should go to. That's my top 5 list. See what y'all talking about in the comments. So Chiefs got Valdez-Scantling too. I think they are looking to stretch the field with lengthy wide receivers. Yeah, I mean, Valdez-Scantling can clear it out. He can clear it out, but he ain't Tyreek and he ain't Deebo. So why wouldn't they pay Tyreek instead of this? Yeah, like I said, I think age could be a factor. I think that's the thing about NFL. It's not like the NBA. NBA guys are trying to get as many rings as possible to build their legacy and the clout and stuff like that. NFL, once you get 1 Super Bowl ring, it's time to go get paid, man. It's hard enough to win 1 no matter how stacked your team is. So once you get 1, go get your bag. Don't take no pay cut. Go get your bag, man. Go get your bag. You know? So to be fair, Packers are willing to trade to pay Adams. He just didn't want to be there anymore. He's tired of being the only wide receiver and Aaron Rodgers being greedy. Touche. 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 So he's doing the top collar route, which is cool because he accomplished something unlike collar. Dang. Tell me how you really feel. T. Thompson, what up, though? Donald Duck, what up, though? So the NFL heading for a lockout if you read it right on the wall. That's a good point. Because these salaries going up, up, up. Up, up, up. But they got a while. Speaking of 420, these dudes, they didn't argue for nothing. These players couldn't hold out. They didn't put up a fight. They barely put up a fight. All they wanted to do was be able to smoke weed and not get drug tested. Shout out to 420, but that's all they wanted. That's all they wanted. They got it. They didn't argue for more money. That's all they wanted. They just wanted to be able to smoke weed without getting drug tested all the time. Inflation. Inflation hitting everywhere. Inflation hitting everywhere. Okay, I had a couple Panthers questions. I'm gonna chime in on that before we get to some more Panthers topics. So seeing all these young diva wide receivers made me more grateful for DJ Moore. DJ had the quietest contract discussions ever. So if Deebo escapes it in New York, so we should use McCaffrey like Deebo. Good point. Alan Randall, what up, though? Said D-Hop recruiting Deebo. I saw that. Omar Tillman, what up, though? Nah, the Panthers don't have the cap for Deebo, unfortunately. But that is what it is. But let's talk about real quick. Let's talk about this off the field stuff, man. Let's talk about this off the field stuff. Cause what the heck is going on in Carolina? Deebo and DJ. Whew. But what's going on in Carolina, man? As you probably heard, Damien Wilson, a linebacker that we signed out of free agency, has been arrested. He's been released on bond officially for $5,000, but he was arrested and accused of threatening to kill his ex-girlfriend after a nasty breakup. Now, this is the third Panthers player that's been involved with the law this offseason, which seems to be a record. I mean, the Panthers have a history of some nasty stuff happening, obviously. We know Greg Hardy, Ray Caruth, stuff like that. But never in this much in the same offseason. Obviously, Ian Thomas had his little run-in, which seemed kind of elementary. But Shi Smith got hit with the possession, unfortunately. And then, of course, Damien Wilson in this latest incident. Damien Wilson, the ink not even dry on his contract, and this man getting in off the field trouble. Now, according to his girlfriend's account of what happened, an accusation, allegedly, they broke up because he cheated. He got upset. She came to get her stuff because I guess they lived together to a certain extent. She brought her friend, I guess for protection and a witness, I guess, of course. And they got into it. He hid in the bushes or something like that and came out with a tire iron. I'm guessing that's a crowbar or a jack. I don't know what a tire iron is exactly. And threatened to kill her. Apparently, her friend tried to go in and get the stuff. But apparently, they're saying that he choked the friend. Now, this is a very serious charges. And some people may be like, I mean, according to the Panthers, he has not been released as of yet. They're gathering information. They're aware of the arrest. But if anything of this is remotely true, he's got to go. Now, I know what the Panthers were doing. They were pursuing Deshaun Watson, even with these allegations by multiple women against him. Unfortunately, there's levels to this stuff in the NFL. When you're elite like Deshaun Watson, you get people, teams don't care. They want to win. But when you're a marginal player like a Damien Wilson, you're expendable. You're expendable. So if any of this is remotely true, I think the Panthers got to cut bait. The ink not even dry. You should not be on the hook for anything. You can probably get that signing bonus back too. I'm sure there's some kind of clause for off the field stuff. Now, granted, Shi Smith is a marginal player, borderline also. They haven't got rid of him, but his was a nonviolent crime. The violence against women is never the answer. So a guy like Wilson, I think you got to get him out of here. You got to get him out of here. He's barely a Panther anyway at this point. You can let him bounce. It's not like we're going to miss him. I still think we needed to draft a linebacker and an edge guy on defense. Phil Snow said we need one player at each level of the defense. So I think he's expendable. And Damien Wilson has a little bit of a history. But Panthers Blue commented about the police report not mentioning the weapon. I haven't read the full police report. I just read the articles and the accounts. Then I actually saw what his girlfriend posted on Instagram. It's a messy situation. But what they say, the idle mind is the devil's playground. When these players have the offseason, trouble seems to find them, man. It's tough. It's tough. But for this stuff to keep three different run-ins with the law in the Panthers offseason, that's got to be a record, huh? It just doesn't seem like something that we're used to, I guess. Just not something that we're used to overall. So I'll be interested to see how that plays out with Wilson. But we'll see. The Panthers did bring in Raheem Green from the Seahawks. Now, I don't know a ton about Raheem Green. I know he's in his 4th year. He's a full-time starter for the Seahawks. Let's see if we can pull up some numbers on Raheem. See if we can pull up some numbers. Raheem Green. Raheem Green or Raheem Green? Is it Rasheem or Raheem? Said plenty of fish in the sea. Damien need to start fishing, not fighting. Very true. Very true. Said they want Shy Smith gone, they should want Ian gone. Yeah, I don't know what Shy was on, bro, to be honest. I'm very curious about what was going on with that situation as far as the possession. Was it intent? Are they gonna try to get him on intent to distribute? Like what are they gonna do with Shy? Police, well, I'm sure he'll maybe settle, do a fine, and get fined and do some community service maybe. I'm not sure. Because he had Molly? Something like that. I don't know. What was it, Molly? I can't remember what the drug was. I can't remember. So it is Rasheem. So Rasheem Green, 24 years old, 6'4", 279, 4 years of experience. He went to USC. Last year, he played 70 games, 40 tackles, 6.5 sacks, 4 pass deflections. So a good rotational piece. A good rotational piece, it seems like, can push. With that size, he'll look like him and YGM. Him and YGM could be the same position. Similar builds. But I think a guy that obviously was probably scouted by Scott Fitterer, so they have that background. Have not heard any word about a contract emerging yet, but Rasheem Green could be a good piece to our D-line rotation. And it could be something that we are able to pass up on in the draft. Because I honestly think we need to add another depth piece to our D-line. I think we need to add another depth piece to the D-line. Pretty young, 24, been in the league 4 years, good experience. So I would love to sign him if we could. We'll see what that number comes down to if they get it done. So it was we. I know they had we, but I didn't know because at first I heard it was like Molly or something too, but it was we. Thank goodness. But with the amount that he had, can they get him on intent when it turns to a felony? We'll see. He said, I'm ready for Malik and Brian Flores. Straight up. Straight up. All right, guys, it's about that time. Let's talk about Ben McADoo, man. Let's talk about Ben McADoo. Because he had his first, now that off-season workouts have begun. People are in the building. We're getting interviews from players and coaches. Oh, you talking about Greg Olsen saying he coming back? Is that what you're talking about? Greg Olsen is a podcaster now. He ain't coming back. He's a podcaster now. He's a media guy now. Yeah, I mean, it just depends, man. I don't know how cops are, but obviously he's got money. He's connected to the Panthers. They can pull some things off. I mean, we'll see. But that 2 ounces, that's felony weight still. Trill one, what up, though? 2 ounces is felony weight. Josh, what up, though? But Ben McADoo. Let's get back to it. Ben McADoo. Good old Ben McADoo. He like I said, now that off-season workouts have begun, the voluntary, mandatory type of stuff. People are in the building. We're gonna get to hear from some people coming up over these next few days leading up to the draft and the off-season getting started. Seems like most people have checked into OTA, so that's a good thing. But we also got to see Ben McADoo, our offensive coordinator, with the new hairstyle, growing his hair out a little bit, not slicked back as much as it used to be when he was in New York. But Ben McADoo. He does what he does best. Puts his foot in his mouth when talking to the media. That's one of the things that got him in trouble. He used to get eaten alive by the New York media. He got eaten alive by the New York media. And he claimed that he had been working on being better with the media, but clearly he still needs some work. When asked by, I guess because the New York media compared to like David Newton, Joe Person, Sheena, Quick, Mike Solarte, Scott Fowler, all those guys, they're walks in the park. In my opinion, they're walking apart. No offense to those guys. I like their work, but they're not anything crazy compared to the New York media. But David Newton asked him, was Sam Darnold starting quarterback? He said, yeah. He actually said Sam Darnold was part of the reason why he decided to take the job. Now, Ben McADoo, being that he was trying to work on this stuff, I think he tried to give some coaching speak because he used to be a little too harsh in the media to some of his players, and it rubbed in the wrong way, forcing him to lose the locker room. So maybe he just let it slip, trying to be like, oh, Sam's our guy, just trying to feel like he's standing behind the guy because he's been on record being skeptical of Sam in the pre-draft process. So maybe he was just trying to instill some faith and confidence like everybody else in this organization does, even if it was misguided. I'm not going to hold him to the fire for that. A lot of fans were getting mad that he said that, but I'm not going to hold him to the fire for that. I'm not. But clearly somebody was in the back like, hey, it's nail on the Sam stuff. And he had to walk it back a minute and a half later, saying that I misspoke, put my foot in my mouth, saying Sam was the quarterback, blah, blah, blah. I can't blame him because right now, as the roster is constructed, Sam Darnold is a starting quarterback. Was he going to say that, no, P.J. Walker's a starting quarterback? Is that what people wanted him to say? Did people want him to say that P.J. Walker was going to be like, what was he supposed to say? You got to read between the lines because he was trying to get coach to speak, but he ended up saying the wrong thing. He did the most. Clearly, he still needs work. Luckily, he's not our head coach. He doesn't have to talk to the media every day or every week. And shoot, Matt Rule, he said so much stuff putting his foot in his mouth that we'll probably be forgetting about McAdoo's comments in no time. No time. So I'm not even tripping on that. Like I said, we got Matt Rule as a coach who's the king of coaches speak. And it's just another day in the office. Now the Panthers are getting clowned. It's going to keep happening. But it is what it is. But from a football standpoint, knowledge standpoint, I like McAdoo. They should listen to what he says when it comes to the quarterback. Because he did have some things about the quarterback prospects coming out to a certain extent. He said that he likes to gamble on, he would like traits and upside versus the day one starter type of notion. And we all know that Malik Willis has been the one talking about upside, and Kenny Pickett has been the one looked at more so of being more pro-ready right away, but with a lower ceiling. But I don't think we're taking the quarterback at 6 regardless. But if we trade back to a point where they fall to our lap, that's just something to keep in mind. Now, Camping, he was today. You could tell that old guy, he still got that fire in him. I'm liking what we're going to get from our offensive line. Some of the guys we got, he said that he really wasn't a big proponent on arm length when it comes to left tackle. It's kind of like Matt Rule was. He looks at production. If a guy can play, he's going to put him there, which is a breath of fresh air. Because it seems like some of these guys get so caught up in what they drafted them for, the numbers, the trade stuff on paper, that they forget that you actually play football on grass instead of on paper. AKA Matt Rule saying that he had doubts about Brady playing tackle because of that arm length. Camper said he thinks that Brady could play any position. He thinks so. But I like the vision. He has a history of taking advantage of underrated players and making the most out of them, late picks. So we'll see what he can do with maybe a Deontay Brown or Brady Christensen. We'll see. The Purple Pocket Podcast came in here talking cash money about us being trash. First of all, your team color is purple. Let's be real. That lets me know the Vikings are a joke. Let's be real. They're a joke also. Kirk Cousins is your quarterback, first of all. Second, and I don't even like Kirk, but you know the ceiling's low. You ain't got no room to be talking about anybody. Y'all the ultimate little brother of the division. And I like Thielen. And I like Jefferson. But you ain't got no kind of room to come up in here talking about the Panthers. Because like I said, y'all first mistake is y'all team color is purple. It's purple. Said we wanted them. They said that was cap. They said the Kirk Cousins rumors was cap. And y'all gave him a fully guaranteed contract. Y'all gave him a fully guaranteed contract. So who's the silly one here? Who's the silly one here? But we shall see. Tyler said Vikings win a division. So you hate Kurt. Kurt is a serviceable quarterback. I would take him over Sam Darnold. But it is what it is. But I want to talk real quick about the playoffs, man. NFL playoffs versus NBA playoffs. Now, the NBA playoffs are going on right now. It's very long and drawn out. Appreciate you tuning in, man. I don't know how you made it to the channel, but I appreciate you tuning in. I appreciate you tuning in. I appreciate you tuning in, man. It's love. I don't know how you found it, but I appreciate you. I appreciate you checking in. Nevertheless, NBA playoffs, man, they're so long and drawn out. You can literally throw the first round away. Like the intensity, even with the Panthers, even with the NFL playoffs adding extra teams, every round and every game is way better than any round you could get. I always say he's from South Carolina, but you got a Vikings podcast. I'm about to say, I don't know any black people from Minnesota. I don't know any black folks from Minnesota. But that's funny. You said the Hawks fan and don't look, man. I may be going to that game Friday. Depends on my schedule look like on Friday, but we got to win. We got to get this win. I cannot stand the Miami Heat. Kyle Lowry all flop himself. Jimmy Butler, he overrated to me. He's straight. He's a great player. He just ain't no superstar. He talk a lot of trash, and he's a fake tough guy. Ernie said that McADoo benched Eli for Geno. Hey, look, I'm not gonna hold him too accountable for the head coaching job because he's not making no type of decisions with us anymore. And Eli was washed. And Eli was washed. Eli's washed. But NBA playoffs so long and drawn out. NFL playoffs, the intensity is so much better. Every game matters. I mean, the intensity is good in the NBA playoffs, but like I said, you could throw out the first round. Now, this play-in tournament, I can't lie, it's dope. But NFL is king. This winner go home one game and out. I like it. I'll take it. Now, the last thing I'm going to leave you guys with is tips because this offseason has been crazy. There's been a lot of trades, a lot of movement going around. A lot of your favorite players are getting on the trading block, requesting trades left and right. And a lot of you don't know how to shop for jerseys. A lot of people are having issues with jerseys because they don't know if they want to buy a jersey because they don't know if their favorite player is going to get traded. They don't know if the favorite player is going to get cut. They don't know what, like how long they're going to be there. Your favorite player might have signed a 1-year deal. So you don't know if he's there for the long haul or not. I'm going to give you some tips to buying a jersey. The first tip for buying a jersey for your favorite player is one, you want to get a young guy. Get a young guy because these guys, you want to get a guy that's established and show some promise. If you get that young guy, he has a lot more potential to exceed what he's been doing and then get a long-term deal. You also want a guy with at least 2 to 3 years left on his contract. Do not get a guy going into a contract year. Do not get a guy that signed a 1-year deal. You know what I'm saying? Like that. Back then, people asked me if I was going to buy, if I was buying a Stephon Gilmore jersey. I said no. I love Gilmore. I love Riddick. People ask me the same thing. I was like, I don't think they're going to be here more than a year. So until they sign a deal, I'm not buying it. And then get somebody that has already changed their number. DJ Moore had that 12 jersey. A lot of people probably bought them 12 jerseys. But DJ Moore decided to get that number 2. And a lot of people were cast out and asked out. So one, make sure you get a guy that's young. Two, make sure you get a guy that has at least 2 to 3 years left on his contract. And three, make sure you get a guy that's already changed his number or is loyal to his number because it was in college. People have questions about Christian McCaffrey. Will he ever switch back to number 5? I doubt it. I bought me a 22 jersey because I know as soon as they restructured his contract, I knew he was going to be here. I felt good about it. Okay? See, look at my man Kelvin. He bought a Gilmore jersey. He got caught up in the hype. Gilmore being from South Carolina, being a Gamecock, coming to the Panthers finally in a trade, a big time corner. He fell into the trap, man. You can't fall into the trap. Like I said, don't get a guy on the 1 year. Like I said, these are my tips. My tips for buying a jersey to make sure you don't waste your money. Because these jerseys, back in the day when Reebok made these jerseys, you could get the replica for $50 and then you get the authentic with the stitching for like, what, $100? Between inflation and then Nike coming in, Nike don't do anything cheap. The regular replica jerseys are $100. And then some of the other sizes and other styles, $150, $200. You can get up to $300 if you get the authentic on-field ones with the stitching on all over the jersey. So you got to make your next move your best move when it comes to purchasing jerseys. Think long and hard. Get a young guy with some potential that you think is going to be, that you know is going to be around for a while. Get a guy that either signed a contract extension or has at least 2 years left on his deal. And 3, get a guy that either already changed his number or has his number from college that you know he's going to be loyal to. Because then, like I said, you can end up being like DJ Moore. You buy a 12 jersey and then he changes to 2. And now you're looking like the Monopoly man because your pocket's inside out. You got this 12 jersey. The NFL is not going to reimburse you because your favorite player got traded. Sorry. That's just not the way it works. It would be nice to have jersey insurance, but that's not the way it's going to happen. Fanatics or NFL Shop, they're not going to do that. So it's the dog-eat-dog world out here, man. Make sure you make your next move, your best move, because it's a $100 investment, and these jerseys aren't cheap. Nike. Okay? Jeremy Chin's the best bet for a jersey, and Jeremy Chin will be my next purchase before season starts. I just caught my authentic DJ Moore jersey. I got an authentic Christian McCaffrey. Obviously, I've been had my Cam jersey. My next jersey is probably Chin. I don't see Chin changing his number. I hope not. I can't remember what his college number was. But I have a bad feeling that Brian Burns will change his number to 99 at some point. So I'm waiting on Brian Burns until he either signs it, and he might be too expensive. Scott Fitter is talking about that Brian Burns may be a little bit too expensive, so he may not even be around himself. If Brian Burns exceeds his production and they can't afford him next year. So be careful on the Brian Burns one. People were very scared when that Deshaun Watson rumors were coming because they were talking about trading everybody and their mama from the Panthers for Deshaun Watson. So nobody jersey was safe. I bought my DJ Moore jersey during all that. But obviously I did it before that because they don't sell DJ Moore jerseys. You have to buy a custom elite jersey to get it made for a DJ Moore. So that's what I did. It was on back order for a month and a half. Like we went from out of the Deshaun Watson stakes to neck deep in it to out of it again over the course of me not even having my jersey yet. So I was stupid nervous. Brian Burns switching to 99 like college is what I'm thinking may happen. So I'm waiting on Brian Burns. Jeremy Chin would probably be my next purchase because he's probably my second favorite player on the defense behind Shaq. I don't know what I'm gonna do with the Shaq or not, but we'll see. Said baptized them Vikings fans in the waters of Lake Manitowoc. So he bought the Chin and Burns jersey at the same time. The deal trade was terrifying me. He said the DJ Moore jersey, man. I hope Chin don't change it either, man. Get your jersey with your name on. That's a good idea. I don't think JC changing his number, bro. I think he's safe. Because listen, remember JC said he got the 8 because of Kobe? Ain't no way you can leave the 8. Ain't no way you can leave the 8 unless you go get 24 or something. But you don't get a jersey number for Kobe and then change numbers. You don't do that. I think you good. That man said he got 2 12s. Oof. Prayers up. Prayers up for my boy Jay Issue. He got 2 12 DJ Moore jerseys that he can't do nothing with. But he can do something with it. But sheesh. Your jersey is officially a throwback. Am I going to get a Horn jersey? Probably. I still got time. Like I said, JC still got some years left. I'll probably get a Horn jersey during the year. But I know I'm getting me a Jeremy Chin before the season start. I'm getting a Jeremy Chin before the season start. JC Horn for sure. At some point. What's wrong with Shaq being my favorite player on the defense? What's wrong with that? Make sure you guys get a video a thumbs up if you have not. If you're not subscribed, please hit the subscribe button. Panthers content, NFL content, live streams. I just got back from vacation, so I'm trying to get back into this thing more. Make sure you guys are subscribed if you have not. This is the Dunk on Demand show every Wednesday, 8 o'clock. We rolling, man. But yeah, the Jersey game is a cold game. I got some content I'm gonna drop. I'm gonna start doing a little bit more fan content too, not just like analysis and talking about stuff. I'm gonna do a lot more fan stuff, like talking about jerseys and different stuff like that, and like all the behind the scenes stuff of me going to the games and going to these events and stuff when stuff comes up. Alan Randall said he got 12. His favorite number is 12 over 2 anyway, so we cool. He said he gonna get that JJ Jansen 44. That 44. That JJ Jansen 44. Where did I go for my vacay? I went to Destin. You know what I'm saying? I got married about a year ago. So I went for my anniversary with my wife. You know what I'm saying? 1 year in the game. So I hope he got signed Deebo. I doubt it, man. We ain't paying $25 million after we just gave DJ 20. It'd be nice. I love me some Deebo too. He's my guy. But him and DJ Moore got some of the skill sets, in my opinion. They just don't use them the same. Said now that Rock Hill, the Panthers did not agree on the deal, you worried that Tepper might sell the team out of Carolina? Nah. I don't think so. Mainly because of that soccer team. Like, he just started a soccer team. The fan feedback has been crazy. Crazy. So I don't see him establishing a team in Charlotte and selling the team. So Bank of America is only going to be used for a soccer stadium exclusively. I don't see it happening. Like, nobody has an exclusive soccer stadium that's the size of Bank of America. You just don't do that. What are you gonna do? Host the Belk Bowl, the ACC championship, and soccer games? There's no way you can just leave Bank of America there and sell the team and move on somewhere else and leave the soccer team there. I just don't see that happening. I don't see it happening. Bro, I bought 2 Christian McCaffrey jerseys this year, my boy. I'm with you. I'm with you. I was hoping they wouldn't trade him for Deshaun. I'm with you. I got over $300 plus tax in my Christian McCaffrey investments. That's what I'm gonna start calling these jerseys, investments. They ain't just jerseys, they're investments. They're investments, my dude. These things are not cheap. So I have the personality and eloquence to expand on my content, though. I appreciate it, man. I'm trying to. I love the Panthers, but it's just a lot of stuff I want to do with NFL and the Panther stuff, too. I do like sitting at my desk and talking with y'all, but I'm trying to get in the field. I'm gonna start spending on some vlog stuff. Once the NFL season starts, I'm gonna start giving y'all more stuff. Then I was actually trying to go to the draft itself in Vegas, and I was gonna vlog out there and live stream from actually when the pick comes in right there in the crowd. I can't find a running mate to go to Vegas with me on the last second because these plane tickets are not cheap. I don't know if I want to go to Vegas by myself. I don't know. David, that joke don't work no more, man. That joke doesn't work anymore, man. You need new material. Tomatoes, 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 David. Tomatoes. Hey, man. I appreciate the love, man. You ain't got to say no names. I appreciate the love. I appreciate the love. Now, the money would be nice if y'all want to send some super chats. I love that because it is hard out here for a creator. You know, internet, mic not cheap, MacBook. I do enjoy what I do. But I prefer to do it as support. I'm not gonna beg y'all for money. I got bills. I got bills to pay, but I'm good right now. I'm okay. I'm not gonna ask y'all for money unless I'm giving y'all value in return. And I do plan on doing that. I'm gonna do more film breakdowns and more in-depth breakdowns, especially once the season starts. I'm gonna do full game breakdowns for members. And you're gonna get a whole bunch of stuff though. I'm gonna deliver on that when it comes. I got some plans. It's just about consistency, man, and time. But I appreciate all y'all rocking with it, man. From where I started to where I am now, man. I'm just a dude. I'm not nobody special. I never played D1. I did play Division III football. I know a little bit of something about football. I'm a very knowledgeable person, in my opinion. I was always undersized, so I had to be smart. So I feel like I know the game fairly well. So I just try to provide value, man. Holy. And I appreciate it, man. And I appreciate it. Oh, no. Oh, my gosh. Oh. Moment of silence. Moment of silence, everybody. Moment of silence for Josh. Oh, man. Moment of silence. Moment of silence. He bought a Darnold jersey. Man. No way he bought a Darnold jersey. He bought a Darnold jersey. No. No, man. He said he bought a Kelvin Benjamin jersey. He said, why do people keep talking about moving? Because they think that Tepper really has no affiliation. They said Tepper has no affiliation with the Carolinas like that, so they think that he's not married to them, especially with this stuff going sour with South Carolina. So they think that he may move him. Oh man. So you jumped off the deep end with that. He said, I'm sorry to hear that, bro. The condolences are rolling in for Josh. The condolences are running in for Josh. At least Kelvin did something though. You bought a Kelvin, but Sam, woof. You had some real faith in what you was hearing about Sam to buy a Sam jersey, man. He said at least you got some coverage for the next toilet paper shortage. Oh, man. Oh, man. He said, what am I going to do with that? He said, you got some material for the next toilet paper shortage, my guy. He said, at least he honest enough. Yeah, he took that one on. You got to take that one on chin, man. You got to take it on the chin. So you got a classic Steve Smith from Mitchell and Ness and the DJ Moore from his rookie year. I actually found a rookie Steve Smith Reebok. Not rookie. Reebok. I don't know why I said rookie. Rookie. Damn it, I keep saying rookie. Reebok Steve Smith. $15 at the thrift store. I got it for $15 at the thrift store in perfect condition. One of my favorite pickups of all time. $15 for a Steve Smith Reebok jersey, yo. One of my favorite ones. And I got a lot of good dope vintage Panthers content, like merchandise. Because that's all I do. I'll go to these thrift store conventions and I buy the classic stuff. Because the new stuff too expensive. I will buy some new stuff, but I got my old vintage bubble coat, starter jackets, and stuff like that I got from these little vintage thrift conventions. And they fire. And they fire. Do I think Rule should be forced to stick with Sam? He did pass on Fields. No. And I'm not a big fan of fans kind of wanting him to take, and I understand people want Rule to take his medicine, but it's not just a Matt Rule thing. Yes, a lot of the buck stops with him, but Scott Fitterer, this is his first gig as a GM. He wants to be here for a while, and he wants an opportunity to have another job somewhere. So Scott Fitterer is not going to sit on his hands and just roll with Sam Darnold and then have the team just not have success. Just because Matt Rule needs to take his medicine. That's more of a fan thing, and I never understood it. These guys are trying to win ball games. They're trying to win ball games. You say you're going to have some good memories about it. I actually saw Sam Darnold Jets jerseys authentic at Ross for $40. $40. Authentic Donald Jets. So you think Taylor's going to be out CJ Henderson? That'll be interesting. Salute to you, my boy. Yeah, when the timing. Oh, dang, he believed it. And that's the thing. You thought you were making a good purchase because we were riding high. You waited. You actually didn't buy it. At least you didn't buy it before the season and drunk the Kool-Aid. You waited to drink the Kool-Aid once it had a little bit of sugar in it. You ain't drink the Kool-Aid without it being water, having water and being mixed up. You drank the Kool-Aid after we started 3-0. It hurts, but don't feel too bad. You can feel bad, but I wouldn't feel. At least you didn't buy into it. The smoke screens from the off season. That Steve Smith go hard, man. I'm gonna have to rock it during the season. It just got holes in it, so it'd be cold. The Reebok jerseys look like practice jerseys. Nike done took it up another notch. So Tepper sees the value of North Carolina. Epic Games is creative studio behind Fortnite, and they're based in Cary. Apple might also open up a campus in Raleigh in the future. I didn't even know about that stuff. That's a good point. North Carolina is on the come up. So Apple is coming, yep. But the one Carolina talk goes hand in hand, yeah. I mean, the thing is, South Carolina, I don't know, bro. Like I said before, South Carolina, dude, politics and money are hindering progress. Money and politics are hindering progress. I'm from the 864. I'm from the upstate. My area code is 864. I'm from the upstate. Born in Greenwood, raised in Greenville, graduated from Easley High School. Like, I spent most of my life in South Carolina. I'm in Georgia now, but for them to be just now getting top golfs and different stuff like that, like this is stuff that should have been progressing. See, our franchise is awesome. Hot colors, beautiful logo, 2 states, 1 team, got one we never moved. And that's the thing. I'm not a fan of Tepper. I definitely not a fan of Rule. But overall, man, like, I love the Panthers, dog. Like, I like the blue. I would love for us to get new jerseys at some point. But the Carolinas, the motto, keep pounding, some of the traditions, the people I've met, just me chopping it up with y'all based off of just liking it. Like, man, I love the Panthers too, man. I love it. It's frustrating, which is why the love is so tough. But, like, I could never see myself moving. I mean, if the team moved, I don't know what I would do. Like I said, y'all Bobcats and y'all Hornets Bobcats fans may know and may be able to give me some tips on what y'all do when the team moves, even though they've come back. I just couldn't see myself being a fan of any other team. Not going as hard as I do now for this team. I got so much money sunk in. It's new helmets. God bless you too, Daniel. Appreciate it. So Charleston is great. Rock Hill is great. All the low countries is inspiring new chefs to come over, study low country South. They just got to economically, South Carolina just got to come up more, man. Economically, they just got to make some, like, there's opportunity there, I think, but, like, economically, there's steps that need to be taken for them to continue to progress. And North Carolina, more importantly, Charlotte, and the Panthers can't be dragging them along. They're trying to. Like, the Rock Hill thing is just a microcosm of how things go and stuff. Like, that could have been something that sparked a lot of economic growth, not to mention the jobs associated with all that construction and the project. Like I said, the new jobs that it would bring to the area, the property values that would have went up, people that live around the Rock Hill area, around the headquarters. You know what I'm saying? So when a team moves, you just lose a piece of yourself. You don't ever get back. And that's my fear, man. Like, and people, I get it. People are saying, like, Tepper has no affiliation with North Carolina like that. But I don't know, man. A lot goes into teams moving. It ain't just as clear, cut, and dry as it seems. Because we see the Rams, they still got a lawsuit going on with St. Louis for not handling that properly. The Raiders, they got a little bit of smoke too with Oakland. So it's not as clear cut and dry as it may seem. You got to make sure you subscribe if you have not subscribed to the channel, man. Dunk on Demand show. This Wednesday we're talking Panthers, talking NFL stuff. Appreciate y'all tuning in. You know what I'm saying? So we definitely need new uniforms. But let me go ahead and get up off it, man. I got to go. I got videos coming this week. So South Carolina just can't be Myrtle Beach. Myrtle Beach. There's more to it than that. That can't be outlined about. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Savannah, Hilton Head, Charleston, Myrtle Beach. That's the only people. I mean, Greenville's on the come up because a lot of people from out of state, believe it or not, from Greenville, from Georgia, love the Greenville area. They love the Greenville area because it's slower pace. You still get that little bit of city feel. And then obviously Falls Park downtown in the area like that, it's on the come up. But it still has some work to be done. But let me get up off here, man. I'm out of here, man. I love y'all. It's all love. I'm out.